Okay, so today I'm going to talk about how you can make your own personal AI assistant using Smojo and Telegram. Okay, so, and this is part one, sorry. So it is part one. Okay, because there's so much material to cover, I thought it best to split into two parts. So today we'll be looking at how to actually install, how to actually run some samples and so on. And for you to get an idea of how everything works. Okay, there's a lot of different moving parts. And maybe on part two, we can talk about something else, which is more depth, more detail about the AI assistant, right? So what are we going to do today? So I'm going to talk about what's an AI assistant, right? I'm going to introduce you to Telegram bots, right? How to run, how does Telegram bots work? I will also talk about Smojo VM. So it's a bit like how Francis did, but I will also cover a little more also, and I'll talk about how you can install for Mac OS as well. And then we will go on and do our first couple of Telegram bots, okay? I won't do any maybe major programming today. I'll make some maybe small changes, and I'll show you how you can get started as well. Oops. Okay, so what is an AI assistant? Well, first of all, it is simply a program, simply a computer program that you can communicate with, and that is personal to yourself. Okay, your interests, your data, right? What your biases are in life, and so on, right? So all of us have got all of these things. And I think secondly, and more importantly also, is that you should be able to be shape and customize your assistant. Otherwise, it's not really your assistant, it's somebody else's assistant, which they give you access to. Okay, so we're going to do the first part today, and then on part two, hopefully we'll do the second part in showing you how you can customize a bit more. I will touch a little bit on the second part today, towards the end of the talk. Okay, because this requires some coding, and I think there'll be a bit of information overload if I cover too much today. Okay, so first of all, what is Telegram? Why are we using Telegram? Why not WhatsApp or something else, right? So, well, the short reason is because Telegram makes it very easy to create bots. Okay, unlike WhatsApp. WhatsApp, you need to do a lot of, yada, yada, yada before you can actually create a bot easily. So we find that Telegram is dead easy. And they made the platform very open, unlike WhatsApp, although WhatsApp is a lot more popular. Okay, so a Telegram bot is basically a Smojo program that communicates with Telegram, okay, and it allows you to respond. So the Smojo program will actually respond to Telegram messages, okay, and each bot needs a given name, like, I don't know, bot or I don't know, whatever you would have, like assistant or something else, right? But it also needs a unique username. So when you sign up for Telegram, it will also ask you for a unique username, and that is something that you need to key in as well. Okay, so every bot needs a unique username. And of course, every bot also has got a mailbox with Telegram. So when messages come in for Telegram, they go into this mailbox where they're stored. So to set up a new bot, you need to have a talk with, this is very annoying. Yeah, okay. You need to have a talk with a bot called BotFather. Okay, so the BotFather bot is like, it will give you something that's important, which is the tokens and all the other details you need to actually start up or create your bot. Okay, so how do you communicate with BotFather? Well, step number one, you open up Telegram. So Telegram has got, it's got an app on the desktop or your laptop, but it of course also has got the application on your phone. I think you need to get the phone one first, and then you can install the ones on your desktop or your laptop. Okay, so then you just open it up, preferably in the desktop or in the desktop app, and you go under search and you search for BotFather. Okay, and you should see this little bot appearing. And then all you do is just to click on start to begin chatting with BotFather. Okay, and it will, the first thing you do after you click on start is to use the /newbot command. What that does is to tell the BotFather that you want to create a new bot. There's actually many different commands you can actually have, like deleting a bot, moving a bot, etc. and whatnot, right? So BotFather has got many different functionalities. The only one I'll discuss today is the /newbot command. Okay, so you'll say What are you going to call it? So that's when you give it the given name. So I've got a bot called Tokipona. I'll explain why this funny name is later on. But this is a nice name that you want to call your bot, and it'll appear on the top part as the bot's name. Okay. And then the second thing that you need to do is to give a username for your bot. And this thing must be unique. And I think this is the hardest part to actually do, because oftentimes you will find that there is the username is already taken. All right. So whenever this happens, you just say, oops, try again, right? Just try it again. And if you are successful, it will say, congratulations, right? And it will give you the token for your bot, right? So this token is specifically for your bot, and you need to keep it secret. Okay, so I'm going to give hang on, a demo right now. So let me just share the screen again. Sorry, I need to actually switch between apps. I will share the. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay, so here I've got Telegram open. I'm clicking on search. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see my screen. Is it okay?
Yes, we can see your Telegram screen.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to search for Botfather. Right, and of course it appears right on top here. Just click on that. And then here you get the start button here. Click on start. And it'll give you a whole list of commands that it can perform. But I'm going to use the /new bot, right, to create a new bot. And then, of course, it'll ask me this and that. And finally, you first give it a name. I don't do this now because I've already got a lot of bots here being created. But you can just give it a name, and then it'll ask you for a username. Then you just give it a username until you get to the point that it's a success. Okay, well done, congratulations. And the most important thing about this interaction is this token. This token is very important. It is basically how Telegram recognize communication between your program and itself. Okay, this is basically your bot. Do not share it with anyone. You need to keep it secret. Okay. Okay, so I hope you guys, it's quite simple, right? It's fairly straightforward. Now, how do you receive Telegram messages? Well, each bot that you create is given a mailbox. And let's say somebody from the outside, he whips up his handphone, types in Telegram message, and then sends it to your bot. Okay, it goes into your bot's mailbox. All right. And similarly, let's say somebody else types in a message, right, and sends to your bot. It also goes as a second message, and maybe there are other messages from other people. So your bot's mailbox will pile up. Now, there are two ways that you can access these messages. The first one is called webhooks. All right. So in other words, Telegram allows you to have two methods. Okay. The first is called webhooks. And the idea is that each time a new message comes in, Telegram will call up your bot. It will say, look, here's your message, and it will then send a single message to your bot. Okay. But Telegram also has a second method for polling. And in this method, instead of Telegram communicating with your bot actually asks Telegram, what are the messages that I have? And then the Telegram will say, okay, look, here are all the messages available, perhaps within the last 24 hours. Okay. Now, I'm not sure exactly how long Telegram actually stores or keeps these messages. Most of the time, it's at least on the documentation I've seen so far, it's within 24 hours. Okay. But the important part is that all of the messages are within the last 24 hours are actually retrieved. Okay. Okay. So which method is better to use, right, to communicate with Telegram, webhook or polling? Well, webhooks are actually easy to program, and they are far more efficient because it's easy to program because it's message by message, and you don't have to, figure out which message has already been replied to, etc. Right? It's just a single message that you can just respond to. But the problem is that it needs your bot, your program, to be working 24/7, and you need also a domain name and static IP address. Okay, so this means that you need to set up on something like Cloudflare that Francis has described. All right, so using Francis's presentation, you can actually set up a domain name and a static IP address and actually get the webhook to work for that. But it's a lot of setup as well. Okay, now polling, if let's say you want something that's quick to test and easy to run, then actually polling is the better choice. It's harder to program because you need to filter out all those old messages, and it's actually less efficient because each time you actually communicate with Telegram, it's sending all the messages within the last 24 hours. Okay, so that means that there's a lot of inefficiency in the communication between Telegram and yourself. Okay, but the big advantage is that you can use it on any computer at any time. You don't have to have a domain name or a static IP address. Okay, so that's why we will choose polling for now, because it's actually very easy for you right now, actually, if you want to actually test this out yourself. Okay, and all the hard to program stuff, we've actually made it easy to program by using Smojo itself. Okay, I won't go into that too much. I will maybe just do a small demo later at the very end of this talk. Okay, but today I'm going to focus on actually getting this installed and working on your laptop or whatever else you're going to use. Okay, so now how is the polling bot really going to work? So we've already seen that your bot has got a mailbox. Okay, your polling bot is going to say messages, what kind of messages you have for me today. Okay, and it's going to do that maybe every few seconds, actually. All right, maybe every 10 seconds, every 15 seconds. Okay, later on, I'll show you how you can actually change that. Okay, so now each time it asks that, it needs some way for your bot to verify with Telegram that it is, it's the right bot, right? Otherwise, anybody else could ask my bot for messages and actually steal my messages, right? So that's not a good thing. So the way Telegram enforces secrecy is to use the token. Okay, so the token is used to uniquely identify your bot. And that is why you must keep your token that you got from BotFather secret. Okay, so each time it asks the mailbox, it will also pass in the token. And Telegram, of course, sends back all the messages that it received within the last 24 hours. Now, your bot's mailbox is run by Telegram. So that part, you don't really have to worry about it. Okay, what you have to worry about is the polling bot itself, because that is run by you on your computer. Or it could be a laptop, it could be a PC, it could be a Raspberry Pi, or it could be even on the cloud, like how Francis has talked to us today, right? Okay, and we will use the Smojo VM system to build the bot itself. Okay, so what do you need for this to work? Well, of course, first of all, you need to get a secret token from BotFather. Okay, and you also need a Unix computer. I'll come to that shortly. Okay, to run the bot itself. You also need the Java software development kit. Okay, so this part Francis did talk about, and I will just go through it in a bit more detail so you can see how this is done, maybe for other OSs like Mac OS. Okay. And optionally, which is we're going to use later on, you need also OpenAI account and secret key. Okay, if you want to run any kind of AI, because the AI we're going to use is through OpenAI. Of course, if you've got, let's say, using Claude or something else, you can also run. We are building actually connectors for those in time, but for now, it's just OpenAI. Okay. Okay, so what do I mean by a Unix computer? Well, if you've got Mac OS, OS X, or Linux, or even if you're using something like BSD, then you're okay. You're good to go. All right, you already have a Unix computer. If you have a Raspberry Pi, well, that already runs a Linux. So again, you're good to go. If you run Windows, which I think most of you probably do, then you will have to download the Ubuntu VM. It's the WSL that Francis talked about today. Okay, so you have to download that and launch the Ubuntu VM. I suggest you don't try other distributions. Okay, there are many other, I think there are other distributions like Oracle and SUSE and so on, right? Don't use those, just use Ubuntu. It's because it's fairly easy to run. Now, if you've got Android, I'm not sure if it's possible, but you may have to try digging around. I don't have instructions for Android. If you're using iOS, then the answer is probably not, because iOS is very much locked. Okay, it's hard to run programs on iOS. Okay, so just as an aside, oops, I think I missed out one slide here. I moved this slide in the wrong place. Okay, let me go back here. All right. All right. So the main program that we'll use, and in fact, I think you saw it also in Francis's talk, is the terminal. Okay, it's like a black screen, a black little window, and it can be look a bit scary. It can look a bit scary, right? Because it's got all these commands and other stuff like that, right? But this is our main program that we'll be using to run the bot itself. Okay, and you'll have to type in some commands, obviously. Don't be afraid, just follow the steps carefully, and I'll try and put out the steps very clearly for you, because I know a lot of you are probably not familiar with Linux or the terminal, okay? And you type it carefully, because it is very, you can't have misspellings and so on, or change the case. So case is so important, because uppercase or lowercase actually makes a difference, okay? The example I have on the right is a Mac OS X terminal, and I'll be using that. Francis today, he used a Linux terminal from the Windows Ubuntu VM, right? Okay, so is there any benefit to learning terminal commands? I just want to just sell this to you, to you guys. Yes, there is a lot of value actually in learning Unix terminal commands, because it is actually a valuable and marketable skill. And the commands hardly change, so you don't really have to, relearn commands. And it's very powerful. You can use it to control and configure multiple computers. Maybe if I have the time today, I will show you an example. Okay, and you can also use it to write scripts to automate pretty much anything that you want. Let's say you want to do something like this, performed every Tuesday. You can write scripts to do that for yourself if you have Unix, a knowledge on how to use the Unix terminal. Okay, and of course it works on multiple machines, and it's far more powerful than the GUI tools, that means the graphical tools that you normally get with Windows. Okay, so my recommendation, if you want to learn about Unix terminal commands, start with these few, right? cd, ls, make directory, ps, kill, vim, ssh, mv, and rn, okay? And you can either Google them, or you can just honestly, you can use ChatGPT. It's a great resource to ask questions. Okay, so that aside, what is the game plan for today, for the rest of the afternoon? Well, step number one, we're going to check and see whether you got all the necessary parts that installed. I actually missed out one part, which is curl. I'll come to that later on. But once we've done that, once we've done all the checks, okay, it's all installed on your Ubuntu or on Mac OS, then we will install Mojo VM. And then step three, of course, we just run the example bots. There are a few example bots. The first, I created two so far for you. The first one for today, the first one is the Echo sample bot. And all it does is that each time you click on your, you type in, let's say, hello, how are you? It will just echo back the same message, nothing too smart, okay? And the fourth sample is the Tokipona sample bot, okay? So if you're not sure about what Tokipona is, it's actually an artificial language. My son actually got me to try and learn this language. And so together we built this bot to translate English into Tokipona to help us to learn the language itself. Okay, so this is a good example of a very small, simple AI assistant type bot. Okay, and this example does require a secret key from OpenAI, which you can get actually from Chris. Chris tells me that we can actually give out temporary keys after each talk, like today, or you can actually buy it from OpenAI directly. Okay. All right. So the first thing you need to do is to check if Java installed. All you need to do is open up the terminal and type in Java and then just enter or return. Okay. And if you see a long message like that, which you can see on the right, that means you're okay. All right. If you don't see it, oops, what's happened here? Then you'll have to install the Java SDK. Okay. And you can type clear to actually clear the screen. And similarly, you need to also run a check for JAVAC, Javac, which is the Java compiler. Okay, so Smojo is actually a language, but it's actually built on many different kinds of languages. So the one that we use, the Smojo VM flavor that we're using today is the Java flavor. Okay, so that's why we need the Java compiler and everything else installed. Okay, so again, if you see a long message like that, then you're okay. If not, then you need to actually run the SDK. Okay, so now let me just demo this to you quickly. So here I've got the terminal open already. Let me just do a clear first. So clear will clear the screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen? It should be completely black. Is that right?
Yep, yep, I can see your screen.
All right, so now the first thing you do is just type Java. And if that comes and type enter, if you see something like this with, a long thing like that, then you're good. Okay, then let me do clear again and JAVAC, which is the Java compiler, because you need that as well. Then again, of course I installed it and it's good. Okay. All right, that's it. It's not that hard, right? Just to test it out. Oh yeah, the other thing you need to do is to test for curl as well, which I think Francis had in his notes, but I completely forgot about curl. We just tried which curl. Okay, and then you type enter. Oops. Okay, if it says something like that, that means you have curl installed. So curl is a downloading program. It usually comes in by default on Mac OS, on Mac OS X, and also it comes by default on Linux, but sometimes it does not. Okay, in which case you need to install curl. All right. Okay, so if you have both Java and Java in their separate programs, okay, install, then you should like jump for joy, okay. But if you do not, then this is the 2 steps you need to run. You need to do sudo space apt space update. Now this only works on Ubuntu's and Raspberry Pi, okay. For Mac, it does not work. You have something called home rule, which I'll talk about later on. But these instructions are only for Linux, okay? So if you're running, let's say, Windows with Ubuntu, then you can use these instructions. And I would say I would add in another thing that you need to do, which is sudo something like this. Oops, always in green. Okay, just in case you don't have a curl part, okay, and you press enter. Okay, so these are the instructions that you can use for. I can't use it on my computer because mine is a Mac OS one. Now, if you're running Mac OS X and you don't have Java installed, okay, then it's best done using Homebrew. Okay, my best suggestion, honestly, because there are different versions of Macs and they're all a bit different. They're slightly different. Okay, so the installation is not uniform. In which case, I would strongly recommend you ask ChatGPT on how to run this, and you use this command, how to install OpenJDK on Mac OS X, okay? And it will tell you how to do that, okay? But I will also, in the near future, actually write some notes about this and also other stuff as well under this URL, okay? Okay, so now that's the whole idea that we have for installing Java. And I think that's, if you've done all this stuff, it's just part 1. Okay, part 1 is done. Okay, now we got part 2, which is installing the Smojo virtual machine. Now, I've got the instructions here for you, but I thought it's best just put this out here just for your reference. Instead, what I'll do right now is to actually do a demo, okay, on how to install it and I'll do it step by step. Okay, but the instructions are in my notes, which I would share with all of you. Okay, so the first step is to make a directory. So you type in mkdir, and maybe we call it Mojo VM. Actually, you can call it anything you like. And then you cd Mojo VM. And here you can see the directory is empty. I type ls. ls will actually list out all the files in the directory. It is completely clear. Okay. The first step that you want to do is to use curl to download the installation program. Right. So type curl https app.smojo.org. Sorry, I can't even see the screen here because of the thing that's blocking up on top. Give me a minute. Okay, let me this down. Okay. Smojo dot, where was I? .org / tell you what, let me just redo this again. Curl https app.smojo.org. My username, which is Arnold. So the smojo.org is actually a public website that we run to actually publish all the programs that we have, like chatbots and other stuff. And it's called smojo.sh. Okay, so you type it exactly like this. It's in your notes. Okay, and you should see something like this, received and whatnot, if you're okay. You type ls again, you can see there's a file here called smojo.sh. That is our installer and running script. It's a script, okay, in for the terminal. Okay, now you need to make the script executable. So you type in chmod +x smojo.sh. Okay, and you type ls -l, and you can see it is okay. Here you can type clear if you want, and then we can run the script by typing smojo.sh -c. So what this -c does is that it downloads the Smojo virtual machine and compiles it with Java. So this takes some, oops. This is the first time it's happened like this. Just give me a second, huh? Oh, I see. I think I did the wrong thing just now. Hang on, huh? Let's remove the file and try to download again. Oh, no wonder. Here I put a slash here just now. So you see, typing a wrong command. When I typed the slash just now, it actually gave me a file not found or something like that, right? So I need to just download again, and then I can do a chmod again like that, and then run the program. Okay, so this should work now. All right. Okay, so now when I type let me clear again, clear in ls, and then you can see there are 4 files here. Okay, so don't have to bother with any of these guys. Right, this 1, 2, 3, 4. We will still be using the smojo.sh. The smojo.jar is the virtual machine in Java, and it contains all you need to run these programs. Okay, so now if it's successful, you can actually run a test program. So we have a test program online, smojo.sh. This time, instead of -c, you type -r, and you type in Arnold YOPY. Okay, and this should display this dear graphic. Okay, so this is a test program here. Okay, and this program is actually online. So what the smojo.sh does, it grabs the online program and actually runs it in your computer. All right, so this test program tells you that everything is good and we have success. Okay, so you should see this, then you know that the Smojo.vm is actually installed correctly on your machine. All right. Okay, so you've done the second part. So now all we're going to do now, so that steps 3 and 4 are actually fairly straightforward now, because the hardest part is step number 1, getting Java installed. The second hardest step is at least Smojo.vm. And both steps 1 and 2, you only need to do it just once. Okay. Steps 3 and 4 are fairly straightforward. And I'll show you how you can run your first bot. So just now you saw that for the deer symbol, it's Arnold/Yopi, right? But so each program that we have in Smojo, when you publish it, when you write the Smojo program, you can actually, once you're happy with it, you can actually publish it so that anyone else can actually access it. So even you guys can access the Arnold/Yopi program. And the Echo bot, which I talked about early on, is under Arnold/bot/Echo. Okay, so it's a simple bot that all it does is just to echo its input. And it's actually a good way for you to set up, to test your Telegram setup, whether you got the right tokens, whether Telegram is responding, whether your bot is working, etc. Okay. So the first thing you got to do is to create a text file in the same Smojo.vm folder. So just now, we saw we did all our work within this Smojo VM folder here, this thing here, right? And we need to actually, put an echo.token file, just a text file, okay? And it needs to contain the token that you got from BotFather. All right. So I actually do have echo.token. So I'm using here my file browser. You can see my file browser. This is it's a Mac, so maybe for Windows it'll be very different. Okay. But I've already put in the token inside here from BotFather. Okay. I'm going to move it. Maybe I copy it instead, huh? Move it, copy it. So I just paste it here. So I've got echo.token here. This actually contains the token for the bot that I want to communicate with. All right. And then you just run the program using smojo.sh -r, but the program name is now Arnold/bot/echo. Okay. And what you should see is, running Telegram bot echo. All right. Something quite simple. And that way, you know that the bot is running, and you can immediately then test the bot in Telegram out. Maybe do a demo right now so you can see this happening. Okay, so I'm going to go clear again. Oh, clear. Right. And I've just check and see I've got my echo.token, so I'm good. Okay. And the command to run the echo bot is mojo.sh again. Right. This time is -r to run. So C means compile, to compile the virtual machine, but you only do that once. And -r means to run. And the program is called Arnold/bot/echo. Okay. And it will take a while because it's downloading the program and then running it. And then you just see running Telegram bot :echo, the bot name there. Okay. So that way we know that the bot actually works, or at least on our side here. We don't know whether it works on Telegram or not. Okay. So I'm going to open up Telegram now. Okay. And okay, the bot that I have, it's called Tokipona, because I'm going to do this bot the next one, right? Okay, let me just clear up all the messages from this bot. So clear my chat history. Okay. And I click on start to start talking to the bot. I say, hello, how are you today? Okay. And you need to give it some time, because the way I said it is that the bot will, okay. So now you can see it's responding, hello, how are you today? It's just an echo. All right. Okay. Right. And honestly, if you guys want to try, you guys have a Telegram, okay, look for the Tokipona bot, the what's it called again? The handle, which what the handle is called, right? Oops. Info, it's called me Tokipona bot. So it's at Can you see this, guys? It's at me Tokiponabot. You can try it yourself. It should right now just echo. Just do echo, right? Hey, right? And then it will just echo after a while. Okay, notice that it's actually getting longer between responses. And that is the reason is because how we set up the bot. That I will come back to this maybe towards the end of the talk. Okay. But at most, it should wait up like 20 seconds before it does anything. Maybe you can try some nonsense and then it will just respond as well. Okay, so this is a simple bot that you can use to actually test out how things work. Okay, and the important part to understand is that it runs completely on your laptop. Okay, so if I go back to my terminal here, how do I stop this? I just type in Control C. Okay, Control C, and then it just stops the entire thing. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, it is possible most times you don't want to just keep the terminal window open all the time. Okay. So we've covered this part. Okay, we've done this. I want to talk about something called daemon mode, and this is not really a part of Smojo or Telegram. It's really a part of Unix. Okay, so in Unix or in Linux or in the Mac OS X, you can actually run programs in the background. In other words, they don't really interfere or they don't have a window attached to them. Okay, so these are called daemons. Okay, so it refers to Maxwell's demons, not any kind of spiritual daemon, right? Okay, so to make your bot a daemon process, you need to use nohub and then put in the command and then put in the ampersand, right? So previously, for example, we have /modo.sh -r and then the bot name. So just sandwich that between nohub and the ampersand, all right? And you can't type Control-C in this case to stop the bot. To stop the bot, you need to use the daemon's process ID. I'll show you all of this stuff shortly. For example, let's say if I know the process ID is 1234556, then I just type in kill space 1234556, enter, and then it will kill that bot. Okay, and you can find out the PID of your bot by typing in PS space X. You can see which one corresponds to your bot. I'll demonstrate this shortly so you can see this in action. Okay, now in daemon mode, there is no visible output on terminal, so you need to check the nohub.out file. Okay, I'll show you that as well. Okay, so the next demo is how do I start and stop the echo bot, at least in daemon mode. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to type in the PSX here for you. And you can see this gives me a list. This is on Mac OS, and it's a lot of stuff that's running. Each line represents a single computer program that is running. All right, so you can see there's actually hundreds of programs right now on my Mac laptop. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to type in something like nohub. And maybe I clear this first. It's such a mess. Nohub, and then smojo.sh, right, minus r, Arnold /bot/echo, and then you type in the ampersand. Okay, enter. And you can see it gives you the PID of the bot itself. So we know it's 29327. Okay, if I type enter now, you can see I get back the command line again. I can do whatever I want. It doesn't block up because this program is now a daemon because of nohub and the ampersand. Okay, and we know the process ID is 29327. Okay, but I can also do a PSX. This is another command on terminal that's very useful. So I'm talking about a lot of different commands, but actually it's only a few, like the maybe 7 commands that I talked about early on. Okay, so here you can see if I do this, if you go right at the bottom, you can see these 2 lines here. All right, so the first one is 29327 that you can see on the lower left is the process ID of this chatbot, right? So I can just copy that and I do a kill to stop. Like kill space, the process ID, enter, and then it says terminated, whatever it's now. Now, this is for Mac OS. I'm not sure what it will be for, so I can't remember what it will be for Linux. Okay, it'll be a bit different perhaps. So if I do a PSX again, oh, I got another one to kill as well, this guy here, because it also is an echo bot. So maybe you need to kill both of them. Okay. And then last of all, you can see there's no more echo processes here. All right, so that demo was just to show you how you can start and stop your bot in daemon mode. Okay, now I wanted to tell you that if you have a Raspberry Pi, I know some of you are hobbyists here, you can actually run Mojo VM on really small devices. I'm not sure you can see this. Let me just turn on my camera again because I can't see you guys. Stop the share. So can you see this? It's blurring it out. Let me just remove the blur from my camera. Okay, this is a Raspberry Pi, all right, and it's very small. Okay, actually, this is actually, it has a, I'm playing around with a camera attached to it, and it's got a battery pack as well, which you don't really need. Okay, but you can actually run Smojo VM and all the AI stuff on these very small devices, and they're very cheap. This one actually cost me about, I think, $30, okay, without the camera and the battery. All right, you can easily run Smojo VM on this device. Okay, so you don't really have to run it on your laptop or buy an expensive computer. Actually, Raspberry Pis are actually great to experiment with these things. Okay, let me just go back to my slides and continue. Okay, I hope you guys are okay so far. All right, so now we are going to run a more substantial bot. I mean, Echo is great to test, but it's quite boring. All right, so what is Toki Pona? Well, it's something that my son introduced me to. Actually, it's an artificial language. Toki means speech and Pona means good, so it's actually good speech by this Canadian linguist, Sonia Lang. And the interesting about Toki Pona is that it's a language with only about 120 to 150 words. Okay, so on the right-hand panel there, you can see, I think, most of the basic words in Toki Pona. Okay, so my son was trying to learn it, and he wanted a translator, and we're learning together. So we made this bot to actually translate, because he has Telegram as well, to just translate quickly English into Toki Pona so we can check our progress in the language itself. Okay, so again, for this example, you will need the OpenAI secret key, okay, which you can get from Chris, or you can buy from OpenAI directly. Okay, and you place the key in a text file called openai.key, again within the Smojo VM folder. And of course, you also need the token from bot father, and you need to put the token into tokipona.token, okay? Also within the Smojo VM folder as well, okay? Once that's done, then all you need to do is just to run the arnold/bot/tokipona. That's the bot's name. Okay, like that. Okay, so let me just do this demo quickly. All right, so first of all, I need to drag and drop all those files. So I've got my Echo token, that's fine. I've got the OpenAI key here, so I can't share this, what's inside. It's just the OpenAI key in the first line, okay? And I'm going to paste it into my Smojo VM folder. Okay, so it's there, okay? OpenAI.key. And then tokipona.token. Okay, so this is the token. It's actually the same as the echo.token.
Hi, Arnold. Sorry to interrupt. We still see your slide. Do you want to see the folder name or is the slide?
Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you, Chris. This is the one thing about sharing these things. You never know where you are. Just give me a minute, yeah? Let me stop the share and share the entire. Just now, did you guys see all the demos on the black screen? Is okay, right?
Yes. That one we see.
Okay,
We saw.
okay. Okay, so here I've got the Mojo VM folder here. And I've got the two files, openai.key. I'm going to copy that into the Mojo VM folder. Okay. And again, that has the OpenAI secret key, okay, which you can get from Chris. Just put it on the first line of the text file. Just use Notepad or something else. Just stuff it in, right? And then tokipona.token is the token from BotFather. And you put it again within the Mojo VM folder. So it's there as well. Okay, so these are both necessary. The OpenAI key gives you access into OpenAI. You know, I mean, it costs a bit of money, but just sense if you're using low usage. The tokipona.token is something that you've got to create for your own bot. I can't share you mine, but you can get that from BotFather. Just put it on the text file and, you know, you're good to go. Okay, so I'm going back here, do the PSX to see, okay, look, I don't have any of the Mojo stuff running. Okay. And I can just run now my Tokipuna bot, right? So it's just mojo.sh minus R to run, Arnold, my username, /bot /Tokipuna. Okay, enter. Okay, in this case, it's running within the terminal. So if I type enter, it won't escape, it won't come out. Okay, so the terminal now is attached to my program. When I have the daemon mode, the program is detached from the terminal. I can continue to type in commands. Now I can't. Okay. But let's just test it out. Can you guys see my Telegram here? Okay, let me just clear the messaging first because there's just too much junk. Okay, so let's say something into Tokipona. Chris, anything to say?
No, just confirm. We can see your Telegram.
Okay. Let's say hello. How are you? Yes. Okay, you gotta wait for a while, and then in the fullness of time, it will respond. Okay. I made it so that it will not do this too frequently, so that we don't actually clog up our own server. Okay, so that's the response. That's hello, how are you, Chris, in Tokipona. All right. Now this is a very simple. So what is it actually doing behind the scenes? It's getting your message, taking it, and then checking and see whether the message has been responded to before. If it has, it won't re-respond to the message because it is a polling method, right? And then it will take that message and it will communicate with OpenAI and ask, can you please translate into Tokipona? And then OpenAI will answer, and then that will send the answer back to you like this. Okay, so it's a very, very simple flow. Okay.